Dream it, believe it, become it. And hold on, Spencer, before you say anything else, you're late again, fam.
Oh, shut up, man. You're
You're late again.
Tunde, by the time I walk from one side of my house to the other, I'm tired,
Yeah. James, you hear him?
What, did I say that to you? Did I say that to you? I said to you,
James said the same thing.
We get lost in, man. Trust me.
James said the same thing. All right, so Spence, goes, dream it, believe it, become it.
Come on down. It's a pleasure and an honor to introduce our next guest, who's like a god. He's booked The Guardian. You know what I mean? And he's been a guardian angel to many a young up-and-coming people. He's looked up to so many people. I remember the first time I ever met James Cook was 1989 at Notting Hill Carnival when he was working with the kids. And I said, right, you're James Cook. And he was like, yes, me P, how you doing? Right? And to see this man at the time went on to become a British and a European champion. And at the time when he did it, he said that he had 3 managers, the good, the bad, and the terrible, right?
Come on.
I remember everything, James. So to see James Cook on the show now, James Cook, who's like a bigger brother, who's now working with my brother, my twin brother. You know what I mean? But we're not identical twins, but now you're working with my twin brother. It's just an honor to have a legend in James Cook MBE. Round of applause, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the one and only James Cook MBE. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
James, you know what? I'm gonna let Spencer. What up in the background?
That's Jimmy Cook.
James, you know that one of them. You know them kebab man. One of them kebab man with a mustache. Yeah, love it. But yeah,
Where you get that from, bro?
Spencer, you are the man tonight with the questions because I know James. All right, I'll tell you a quick story. James, what you don't know is before me and Anthony sat down and said, listen, let's bring in James Cook. The first person I rang was Spencer. And Spence, tell him the story, Spence.
Yeah, I just come back from Dubai. I was working for ESPN for the Jamal Hearing Carl Frampton fight. I just got back from Dubai and you had to do hotel quarantine for 11 days. So I'm in there. Me and Tunde always speak about 5 o'clock in the morning. When then people are sleeping, we're working. We're studying, we're working out plans to mash up the system. Right? Bondo, Babylon, right? So when they're talking and like we're talking about the Yarde fight, the backlash that Tunde was getting, a ridiculous backlash, but you know what I mean? You know how it goes. You know what I mean? We used it as heat as our balloon and we showed that Saturday night. And it was like we was there talking, he said, yeah, you know what? Boy, you know what, Spence? We're gonna make some changes, you know. He said to me like, what do you think about James Cook? Right? I said, James Cook's the soundest person that he could be. Because I know from back in the day when man was doing bits on the road, James was the banker, right? So James, I said, he's an honorable man. He's honest. James is an honest one. I can only take as I find. So James is honest. You know what I mean? He's got that crossover appeal. And he's not a man that's trying to hog limelight. I said, that'd be the best thing you could do to have him in there because all you're going to do is just add little subtleties and little nuances inside of the game. You don't need to change anything. All you're doing is improving it. And he said, yeah, for real. Because, all right, say nothing, Spence. Give me the number. I said, don't worry, I'm going to talk to James. I phoned James. I said, James, what do you think about Anthony Yarde? He's a good fighter, you know me, P. He's a good fighter. Dangerous. I'm telling you, he could have knocked out the boy with one hand. Right? Go back to it. I said, listen, James is the guy, you know. Then I gave Tunde the number, and the rest is history. And the nicest thing is that I'm seeing lions in the camp. Tunde's still a young lion, talking to another young lion in Anthony Yarde. Now we've got an old lion. You understand? And I remember when James used to cuss everyone when their head was going bald, and now look what happens to James.
So it's, you know what? I look at my dad the other day. He's 85 and he still got this bush of hair on him. And I look at him and say, "You sure I'm yours?"
Spencer, fire away some questions because I know the people want to hear.
Going to the showers to find out if his dad's his dad.
Well, boy, we have to, because you know if Spencer like me, so me know. You know.
Spence, man, fire some questions for the people want. The people want to know about James.
Yeah, your career, and it's the way this thing is like the groundsman for the complex where I'm living now. He was saying, "Yeah, James Cook," because he said, "Oh, I watched the yard fight. He said, "Yeah, James Cook used to be down at Latchmore, innit?"
That's right, yeah.
See? Right? The groundsman, you know. He said, man, he said Cookie could fight, you know, but they used to have him terrible back in the day because the fights, what people don't realize is that one of the best middleweights, super middleweights to come out of this country is Michael Watson. But do you know that James Cook beat Michael Watson?
Yes, sir. I see the record.
Right. James Cook beat Michael Watson. I remember I was asking James Cook, like, who the hardest puncher he ever been in with? And he said, Harold Graham and Michael Watson. But man don't realize James Cook beat Michael Watson. That is a big, because I don't think you understand. Like back then, Michael Watson never won he won the London ABAs. He never won the full ABAs. And that's when the ABAs was a big thing. We're going back 1983. When ABA was a big thing. But he did win the National Boys Club Association. And he won it consecutive times as well, Michael Watson. And here was James Cook, yeah, with his afro and his rope-like arms and his tall self. Because James is very tall for a middleweight, you know?
Very.
Seriously, James is very, very tall for a middleweight. And he beat Michael Watson, and you felt like, well, things are going to open up for him. But then all of a sudden, James Cook became the Who Needs Him club. He was the head of it. Like, we don't really need to mess around with it because James Cook could fight. You know what I mean? James Cook challenged for the British title unsuccessful against Harold Graham. And what people don't realize is that Harold Graham is British boxing's greatest fighter never to win a world title.
110%. Right? I agree with that.
Well, of course. But James was learning his trade because he sparred with good men. James Cook used to spar with John the Beast Mugabe when John the Beast was the Beast, Tunde. Right? And I said to James, what's your punching power like? He said, you think I'm stupid? I never used to steal their spits. I just jab and move. But John Mugabe was serious, you know. Yes. When John Mugabe would hit you, you know that you got hit.
Yes, sir.
So what James Cook did, those man was like foundation. And then it's just like things started to happen. Then he won a British Women's crown. Then he challenged for the European crown. And then he had like a 2-year hiatus where he earned good money, looked after his family first. You know what I mean? Invested in his wife. That's where you have to rate, man. Because lots of people get things and they don't invest in themselves. They certainly not investing in their partners. Invested in his wife. So James Cook's a legend because his wife had the hairdressers and everybody used to go to her hairdressers. You know what I mean? Everybody. I used to go this Saturday and check beer girl out there.
Come on. Spencer, stop chat, man. I want to hear from the man himself. James, you know, it coming like it's a Spencer Fearon interview. Is that James? When it's Spencer. Hold on, wait there. Big up Bobby Wright. Thank you for the $17.99 donation from you, sir. He says, enough love, guys, respect James Cook. Come on. Big up Bobby Wright. Thank you for the donation. But James, we've just listened to Spencer speaking for the last 10 minutes, and we want to hear from you. We want to know a bit about yourself, and you know, let's let's talk about, you know, your input and how you feel, you know, you've added to our team and what experience you bring. You know, you've been in the game a long time. You know, I know you have a wealth of experience, which is obviously why we called on to you. But just tell us, you know, the subtle things and movements and the type of training that you've helped with us thus far.
But the thing is, Tunde, like I said, I keep telling people, you've done well with Anthony, and for you to come out yourself and say, you know what, you've gone this far and without any help, and you just need that little bit of experience. And I'm glad that both of you sit down and then decide to call me, because the thing is, with people over here, I mean, though you've done it and seen it, some of us don't even get where we are. People don't even understand boxing. You understand me? Lyndon Arthur got beat, and Lyndon Arthur probably will be feeling sick and feel probably rubbish. But listen, the same way he felt is the same way I fight when I fight Obama Graham. I think I let my people down. I think I was rubbish. And as Spencer said, I was learning the trade. I was like going up to box a gentleman, but I now think I was a gentleman in that fight. But then after that fight, I realized you don't have to be a gentleman. And if you notice, I said to thinking about, don't go out there and play pretty. Don't be pretty.
Yes.
Because this is what Lyndon Arthur want. You understand me? I think at the end of the day, he's done his work. Look, Spencer will tell you. I don't think Tunde did realize Finsbury Park. I mean, Spencer been down there a few times because obviously he run with me down there, But
Yes.
Tunde probably didn't expect. But the fact is that Tunde, as a coach and a manager, come out and say, you know what, let me go see what's in past. So to be honest, if my fighter said to me, I am going training with Tunde going running, I probably would have been in my bed and say, yes, Tunde carry running. But the fact that you come out to see what was going on, and that's how you learn off each other. You understand
and
me?
Can I just say, at that first running session, what we did, I remember I tapped you and I said, James, this is what we've been missing.
You did, yeah.
This is what we've been missing.
And I said from day one, it didn't have to, there's no big change need to happen, because when you're too close to a fighter, sometimes you don't see what's happening, and because, like you said, I'm the third man, I see what's happening. I see the little mistake, what's he probably making when he chuck a shot or when I chuck. And as you know, watching the pads work and everything else, when he's in a position, I will say, listen, that can happen now. You're in that position, so this can be chopped, So it's just basically tightening up little things, and as you've got to be certain level to win certain fight. Yeah, you've got to be in certain condition to win certain fight. When he's fighting for the world title, the training go up 3 times more. The fact that he's done his work, he's done the training. Listen, we tell everybody we already had a plan in our head what we was gonna do. Yeah.
Yes.
No, we know what he was gonna do, but the fact that we expect him to start 70 miles an hour, he start 90. So
trust me.
He was in good condition to do that. There's certain things like your cut down. We talk about getting warm up and everything just coming nice. The warm up was nice. It wasn't too much, so everything was just right. So he feel good when he went out there, and that's why he started so fast and done the job.
Yeah. Can I just say one of the things that James was on at me about after, because James's first fight with us was the Birmingham fight, which obviously Ant was back to his best, and that was a 1-round KO. But after the fight, and then we went running the following week. James said to me, look, Tun, it was something I wanted to say to you in the change room. Like, calm down with the power punches. You understand? With Ajayi, because I don't really do the power punches, because, I'm more flow. And James was saying to me, look, what you do on the pads, that's enough. Hold back the power punches in the dressing room, because every power punch you throw in the dressing room is one less power punch in the fight. And that piece of knowledge there, I believe, is something that definitely helped us, definitely helped Anthony. He was very relaxed. I've never seen him that relaxed. And I put that down to you and your golden piece of advice.
Because what I noticed in that fight is, like, I've never seen Yarde start that early. Never, ever, ever have I seen him start that early. You know, like when like Pat Barrett and the rest of the team were sitting there saying, yeah, he's gonna come out fast, he's gonna come out fast. That wasn't coming out fast, you know. That was some Usain Bolt business. You know what I mean?
Me and James was like, bro, we're expected to start fast, but no, but that flurry at the end, bro, from that round 4 started, Ant's hands was the quickest I've ever seen them.
Even Richie Woodall was saying it.
Is the quickest. Yeah, he said it. Richie Woodall said it.
I big up Richie. I mean, I rate him as a commentator. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He the way Ant started, I said, look at this. The way he started, and the thing about it is this, I'm not sitting there saying, oh, well, he's gonna blow out, because he started too fast. No,
I could have done that for 15 rounds because he was doing it in sparring.
I know the graph he was doing prior just with you. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is this also is you got to think, like, when Tunde come in boxing, he never really had no teachers around him. And you got to think, you came into boxing, you come out early, you know? From the time, like, you was a pro for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So you came in early because you never had no real amateur career. You went down the lane, you had a few fights, and then you turned pro. So you never had, where you had them old man pulling you. You never really had those relationships with the fight fraternity guys who are whispering in your ear, or you're picking up little things in the change room, or you didn't have that. So for what you've amassed on, right? Anyone who's not congratulating you is hating you.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you know what? Like, you're totally right, Spence. You know, the thing is, at the end of the day, you know, I'll say it over and over. If you don't know boxing or you don't understand boxing, you understand me? Internet media, people could crucify you. You could, you know, people lose their life because of these people who've never been in boxing, never been in the game. Yes, you know, people probably run the world through that. But if you haven't been into a sport and done it, you know, you not understand it. These guys who probably crucify the man, as you said, you know, he hasn't had much experience, but he has done a great job on a young man. I mean, so you have to give him credit, you know?
Yeah. Anybody who's not, you're a massive hater. You know what I mean? Because
but guess what? I don't want to turn this show into me.
No. We're not saying it's not anything to you, but at the end of the day, it's you why this thing's happening, whether we like it yes or not. You understand me? Right. If you didn't never do the job what you done, it wouldn't happen. So
thank you very much. You know what I mean? So when I'm seeing that, it's like it's kind of mad how like people, they don't want to give man flowers. I give James Cook flowers all the time. You know what I mean? I think guys give people their flowers, because when in return you're gonna receive your own. Absolutely. But what happens is enough people who ain't got their florist. So because you ain't got no flowers, you can't get no flowers. So you can't receive none either. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, that on Tunde. But like with James Cook, I'm saying the turning point in James Cook's career for me, when I was like, what, was the night that you beat up Mark Kaler. You know what I mean? You want to elaborate on that fight for me, please, James? Because I know you used to spell Mark.
You know what? Yeah, we used to spar together, you know, a lot, and part of the, you know, experience in sparring, you know, you never go out there like a madman and show everybody your card or what you can do. You know what I mean? It used to be good sparring, and that's what's about it. You know what I mean? But on the night, the fact is, I mentioned to Errol Christie before he fight Mark Kaler, I said, you're gonna have problems with this boy. You know what I said, yeah, I told him, I said, you're gonna have problems with him. If you're not in the condition where you're supposed to be, you cannot hold him off. You understand me? And you know, say done, because like I said, I spar with him. So listen, I to be quite honest, I think I'm probably even overtrained for Mark Kaler. You understand me? You know, I got a sparring partner from Sheffield, and I was paying him like 10 pounds a round, and I think for a week he beat me up. I mean, he said, I'm paying 10 pounds to get beat up 10 pounds around. So, like, you know, but and then so the experience is like in boxing, there was an old boy sitting down next to me, and he says to me, Cook, you need to take a couple of days of rest. And I thought, can't do that. the fight is a week away. You know what? And sometimes when you see these old people around boxing, if you can learn something from them, and I took the 2 days and it put me out, I felt perfect. I felt good. Anything Mark wanted to bring, I was there. And it's just like Anthony the other night. You know, don't forget he lost on points, yeah, by 1 round. You understand me? His head wasn't right. You understand me?
Yes.
We got it in his head that, you know what, forget about the pretty stuff, you know. If you stayed with this man to box him all day, it'll be nice, you know. And I understand the way Lyndon Arthur is feeling. Yeah, like I says, he feel I beat this man before and I can do it again, but it was a different Anthony Yarde turn up. You know, he turned the heat on him. So he was sort of shocked and really didn't know what to do. And in his head now, like me and Tunde said, we have to make a plan. So once that plan went into action for the first 2 rounds, it was more or less over because we won the first 2 rounds, what we wanted to do, you know, and put his brains out of action. You know, you couldn't think.
Can I just say that again? Just going back to the point what you were saying about, an old trainer in the corner telling you to ease off. There was another pivotal point in this camp where we had the press conference, and like both of you have alluded to and said, I've never had anyone to help me. Me and Anthony started this journey with relatively no experience. I weren't no ABA champion or nothing. I had 5 amateur fights, but I've got a will and determination. And I guess Anthony has proven he has the same kind of will and determination. And that sort of drive has always made me and Anthony keep our foot on the pedal. We don't care. We don't care how tired we are. We're going gym. Every press conference me and Anthony have ever done, straight from the press conference back to the gym. Spencer will tell you. And there was one pivotal point in this camp here where we had that infamous press conference and we were outside waiting for the taxis for James. And Ant said to me, yeah, we're going gym now, Unks. And for the first time, I had somebody that I can ask their opinion. And we turned to James and we said, James, we've always gone gym after press conference. Always. Straight. No rest. And James said, listen, let me tell you. And James repeated that same story. And for the first time ever, me and Anthony never went gym after the press conference. We rested. We rested. And 2 days after, we never went. Then we never went to the gym the next day. Then we come back in the gym and Anthony was electric. And then I think, the last week before the fight, I phoned James because we was going to spar again because, bro, we're kamikaze. Me and this is the point where I'm saying why James, he ain't changed nothing. James, for me and for Ant, has just give us that wisdom which you can't buy. James said to me, all right, ease him off now. Nothing more. We went Finsbury Park the week before the fight. James just done a couple of runs with Anthony's sprints. He said, yeah, he's ready. And I thank you. I keep thanking you, James. You know me, man. I've never not wanted to listen to advice, but a lot of these guys that are coming with advice, they're not coming with no good heart, no good intention.
Took the words out my mouth. You took the words.
They don't come with no good intention, and I've just thanked God and I thank James and I thank Spencer for the advice they've given us and our team. And James, I mean, I can talk all day long about how I feel about you, but continue talking, sir, because I'm gonna keep listening because I take things in like a sponge. As you said, I helped bring a young man to fighting a pound for pound fighter in his home country on my own. I was the captain. I never had nobody to talk to. Now, for the first time, I've got someone to ask their advice, and that's what James Cook has done for me and for Anthony and for the whole of our team. James?
Yeah. Thanks, Spence.
Now I just see someone come up on the screen, but I'm doing it off on my phone. What did it just say? Just dropping to say for I can't even see it. 'Cause I ain't got my glasses on.
Northside Manny says, thank you for the £5 donation. He says, just dropping in to say thank you for the inspiration. All three of you.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
sir. Thank you, sir.
James Cook, tell the people what you did in the amateurs, James.
Well, believe it or not, I was area champion twice. You know, got beat by Box for London. You know, and there was area champion, twice. Got beat by the same bloke, Johnny Graham for St. Pancras. And that's when you start to learn boxing. And I think that's when my trainer said to me, if you're going to be robbed, you might as well get paid for it. You know, because because I think there was Mickey Duff and them that was looking at Johnny Graham. You know, as you know, certain clubs had certain people, you know, coming from them. So that's how I went pro. And you know, sometimes it's part of a learning experience because Al Hamilton was there, and Al Hamilton introduced me to Billy Winter, in Hackney, and then went pro with Billy Winter, and it's so funny. Like all the fighters, then what the top guys, them have Mickey Duff. I thought I can't go with them because I want to fight these guys, but then went with Billy, I realized Billy couldn't even get these fights neither. So all these fights I was chucked in to lose. You know, a lot of people didn't realize I won 7-year champion title and beating TP Jenkins, who was unbeaten. You know,
Jenkins,
yeah.
Jenkins could fight. Where's he from? Battersea, isn't it?
Yes, around that side, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that man, Tunde, that man could fight, you know.
Come on.
Tunde,
James, I was looking at your shoulders on the interview today on the BT, and I said, Jesus Christ, this man like he can fling a combination right now and knock out everyone. I said, Jit, come on. Yeah, I said, bruv, stamina for sale, bruv, from top to bottom.
So when you got all these girls trying around you, man, it's Spence. You gotta stay in shape, man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
James, tell the people about the work that you have done and are doing with the young people, especially in the Hackney area. You know, I know one of the mentions of your MBE was the fact that you working in the notorious murder mile of Hackney, which I think at one point had the most killings and shootings there were in the whole of London. So just tell the people about your work.
You know, the thing is, as you guys know, I remember, you know, my dad was a plasterer, you know, and like I said, if I had help going the way through my career, my trainer was a guy named Jimmy Redwell.
Oh no, sorry, James.
Yes,
you know this drink here?
You good? I've got plain water. Bro. I know the drink, but I've got plain water. Spend some orange juice.
Orange juice. Man, just bring out the sarsaparilla. So you know this drink here.
It's good. I come up by you to collect some. No worry.
You have to call it by
sorry.
real name is Perla.
Yeah, you've got to learn the name, but you've got in there, Spence. You've got in there.
I'm an honorary Jamaican man now, you know that, innit? You know I'm an honorary yard man, so I'm part of the crew now, so I got to level up.
Yeah, don't worry, we're gonna fix you up. Don't worry, we'll teach you.
Anyway, sorry, James. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, and then I got my dad was a builder, and then I remember him making cement with my dad, you know, and he looked at me like, boy, as first son, you're gonna do this job, and the breeze hit me so hard. I look at my dad and I thought, hell no. And where I said my trainer used to run late at night, and he used to say to me, Jimmy, take the class. You know, he used to work late and he used to phone me up. And believe it, yes, and Spencer, you know, he used to probably, when I take the class, he used to probably give me something like £25. Now, £25 in the 70s was a lot of money. So I used to take the class teaching 14 and 16-year-old and over. And when they leave, there was always a smile, you know. And I thought to myself, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to put smile on people's face. And that's why, you know, everything I have and I do, you know, I've always phoned you guys and say, listen, calm down. These guys, the people them see you on a TV, radio, you're local, we do something. If you can help somebody out, that person will help somebody out. But, you know, we don't have to because we know the experience, how we get there. There's the next young person probably want to join us. I want to get there. So you guys know, if I invite somebody down and they don't turn up, I'm the first one to start to crucify them, because I think we all need help and guided in this world, and are we gonna carry on? And this is me, from day one, when I was 14, 16, saying this is what I want to. I want to help these young people, adults as well, and this is what I do, man.
Yes, sir. Spence? Spence?
Jimmy, when you won the British title, yeah, what kind of feeling did that give you?
You know what, Spence? When I boxed Errol Bama Graham, like I said, I probably was feeling like the way Arthur is feeling. I thought I was rubbish. I thought I wasn't no good. I couldn't, the people that was laugh after me, people went up there to see me come back. So I understand the way Lyndon Arthur is feeling, but as you go along, you get to learn boxing. Spence, when I actually went to Belfast, remember I went to Belfast, so to win the British title. When we went over to Belfast, stayed in a hotel, they said there was a Santex bomb inside the hotel. So we wake us up, we go out, you understand me? And winning the British title to me was probably one of the greatest feelings in the world. And you know the reason why, Spence and Tunde? Because people did not expect me to win it, and this is where the experience of you don't look at social media, and if somebody writes something about you good, you read it and you laugh, and if they write something bad, you still read it and you laugh, because guy, I remember one reporter writes something and I challenge him. I says, this is not right. And he said to me, Cook, this is what we do. If we write this at 7 o'clock in the morning, and by 10 o'clock, somebody buy 10 copy. By 5 o'clock, we sell 50 copy. We're doing our job, So that was a big experience to me straight away. So from then on, whenever anybody write anything, win or lose, I look at it, I read it and I smile. Can't take it to heart. And it's the experience of probably, listen, at the end of the day, it's like this, yeah? Though you guys invite me into the camp, yeah? Calling me all, not agree with it still, but I think Tunde and Spence, I know Spence is a little bit older than me, but Tunde might be a bit older than me still, but Spence, you know where he's from, so I'm not saying nothing. But he's looking good, yeah? When you get to that sort of thing, and when I say I went to Belfast, and it's like I was a stranger in a world who you are coming to take, to fight Sam Story, the fight happened and knocked some story out in the 12th round. You know what, Spence? Tony, when I was walking through the airport, two guys come towards me, two probably the biggest guy I ever see, and I thought, oh no, problems. These guys look at me and they said, mate, we watched your fight last night. Great stuff. They give me the biggest bottle of whiskey.
Come on.
London, But winning the British, I've always said, the British to me is probably one of the best titles in this world. If you can command the country where you're boxing for, whatever sport you're doing, if you can command that, that is almost like half of the world, So winning the British was like a world title to me, So, the European, I've always said it was my world title, but winning the British, it's the mass, it's a start of any belt in the world. You've got to win that before you can say, yeah. And yeah, to me, it was like, forget about any other else belt. The British where nobody expect me to win, nobody give me a chance. Yeah, so it was like a world title to me at the time.
James, can I just ask, going back to a training question? Although it may be said that today's boxers may be more skilled or technical, I, for one, personally believe that mentally, the fighters from your generation and before were a lot more mentally stronger. Would you say that's to do with the mindset, the training, obviously mental mindset, yeah, but would you say it's to do with how people train, and how has training differed from your days to present? Because one of the things which was a real eye-opener to me on that first Sunday when I came running with you was how you split. I mean, I don't want to give people our trading tinker. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to let them know too much secrets, but it was how you did the running, how you mixed up, you know, the speed, the long distance, the speed, the hills, that. And I remember saying to you, like, James, I remember that first time I said, James, how you man used to box punch for 15 rounds? And James said to me, people not lie to you, know, there's a run. He said, Spencer know about the run. I said, yeah. But James said to us that Anthony's fitness shocked him and that he didn't need to do that run at this particular point. But I'm looking forward to doing that run, you know, when we go for the world title.
When you go for the world title, sorry, Tunde, surprise you. When you go for the world title, the run changes.
Okay.
Where we go underneath Elephant Castle, and Spencer slightly will tell you about that run.
Okay.
It changed. It get worse. Once he do that run, then we know he's ready for the world title. He done his British European run. That's his run. We will focus on that for a while. Then we will go to our next level. You know.
Yes.
Simple, you know, and then that will show. Yeah, that will show. Is he ready for that level? You know what I mean? Everything is stage at a time. And come to answer your question. The thing is, well, you must remember, you know, when, you know, all things change in the world. When you were fighting, and when I was fighting then, you know, if you look through the rating, you look at 50 guys in the rating, and all 50 of them could fight because there was just boxing, really boxing alone, and football. You know, every now and then you might get a chance in cricket or athletics, but people have to fight them to feed their family, you know. So nobody wasn't giving you nothing easy, you know. So we're sort of, you know, people will say this whether this generation with that generation. The thing is, with what I like about Tunde, to be honest, Tunde says let's mix the old with the new, you know. And we went on the pads, we chucked some shot, he showed me some stuff, you know what I mean? And I can't say this stuff ain't no good because you guys know, so we move with times. You understand?
Yes.
We move with times, and certain things is good, certain things ain't. You know, to get certain things done, whether you like it, yes or not, you have to do it the old-fashioned way. You know, you can't rely on the new way to do it because it will never work. It never gonna happen. You know, if we realize and, you know, just go on the computer and put the thing on our hand and say, yeah, we're ready for a free round. This computer has never done 3 rounds in his life, so they won't know how your heart gonna feel and what
Come on.
and how to twist and how to turn and how to hold a man or whatever. You understand me? So there's certain things which gotta be done the old-fashioned way. And if you saying to me, "Oh, clever was these guys?" Remember, these guys was fighting for a living, so they was very clever. They was teaching you how to hold, how to twist, how to turn, how to avoid a punch. You know, so mixing that with the new stuff, you're only gonna get better. You understand?
Yes.
You're gonna get the hard round fighter, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because, you know, as people know, you know, I was in a lot of Floyd Mayweather camps. From the Cotto camp, I was there for the Cotto camp. I was there for the 2 Maidana camps. I was there for the Canelo camp. And I never see Floyd do no new school training. I see him come in the gym every day. I see him box, come out the ring of sparring, straight on the bag. Then back on the pads. Then back on the bag. Then groundwork, skipping, sit-ups, press-ups, punching with the dumbbells.
Absolutely.
That's all I ever saw Floyd do for all the camps.
Yeah.
So I just copy the leader. I just follow the leader. I've never done all the strength and conditioning and all this new age stuff. Not because it's necessarily wrong, because the way I do pads, I look at that as the new technology. You understand? And then the way your mentality, your mindset, your runs and everything is the old school. So what we've done is blend, as you say, is blended the two together.
Yeah, mix and blend.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because this what I want to know is this. Archie Moore's got the highest knockout ratio of any world champion. Right? Archie Moore. He never pushed weights in his life.
I think
Never-
James made a good point. James made a good point that the old school fighters they dealt with more with technique because they was doing it for a living. Where
Yeah.
today we know you become a millionaire or a multi-millionaire from social media.
Yeah.
110%. Listen, at the end of the day, listen, the fact that at the end of the day, as you say, social media, things change. These guys never had that. These
Yes.
these guys never had that. They was going into a place where, only the other supporters or the other people that was there. They never had nobody could, sit down and watch them. So they, for them to eat a dinner, a next plate of dinner at the end of the week, they've got to learn how to survive. You know what I mean? So that sort of skill, as that sort of running and things coming, you can't just take it away and says, because you remember these guys who invent what we're doing today. We
Yes.
just add to it. We just had a little bit to it, but it was done. And like Spencer said, if you watch Archie Moore and Muhammad Ali and all these guys, the things they do, do you understand me? The things they do, it's completely different. And they never do it with all this technology and everything. But at the end of the day, they're pretty sound.
Right.
Yes.
I mean,
For anyone who thinks,
wow,
sorry, guys, sorry.
was Tommy Hearns, right? Tommy Hearns had a ridiculous knockout ratio, one of the hardest right hands in boxing history. I've never seen Tommy Hearns push no weights.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, anyone who think James is a yes man as well. I'll give you a point. There was a point in the change room before the fight, yeah. and it was throwing the jab with Andy, yeah. And James just cut him. James come in the thing and go, no, me want you step. Give me step. I said, yeah, bro, this is it. This is what we need, bro. And one thing we never told you, James. Me and Andy had a conversation before. We was like, Andy's like, Unks, like if James starts shouting in the corner, like you need to keep calm because Ant knows I am. Because I'll tell man to shut up. I don't business how old you are. If you're not talking my language, but that's actually wrong because Ant said to me, we got to be calm, Unks. We got to be calm. And I said, no, one thing about me.
If he showed, there would have been a problem there, Spence. I'm telling you,
I said, one thing about me. You see me, the way my dad grew me, I got so much respect for elder people.
Right.
So me and Anthony had already worked out in our head. If James starts shouting, just shut your mouth. Just let him shout.
there's one time, I did apologize to Tunde because we already said what we was gonna do and who was gonna do the speaking, and every now and then, I probably come in and say like a word. There's one time Tunde was speaking and I actually speak over Tunde and
that was the third round.
Yeah, because we really set our mind, but sometimes like you're in that motion, you understand me?
And stop there, James. Stop there. That's what we want, and that's what we need. We don't need no yes man in the corner. We don't need no man saying beautiful boxing when it ain't beautiful boxing. We don't need that. That was never gonna.
Tell him that was never gonna happen.
No, I know this. Me and I knew this, and that's why we both got so much respect for you, James. We got so much respect for you because we're humble, humble students. Because what the hell can me and Anthony tell you what you haven't already done, walked, and wore the t-shirt? It's not possible. You've done it. So we only have the utmost respect for you. And that third round is true what James is saying, because when Anthony went out to the round, and James said to me, Tun, me sorry, we never mean for show. I was like, yeah, cool. Don't watch nothing, James. Don't watch nothing. It's all love. Come on. It's all love. Yes, sir. Come on.
I remember in 2000 in Bloomsbury, Ted Babbitt was fighting, yeah? And Ted lost. So Ted was working with Lloyd Adigan, yeah? And then he left Lloyd. And Lloyd said, yeah, I'm his manager, right? I'm his manager. And you leave me, and you got James Cook. Well, James Cook can show you, right? and he lost. And when he lost now, Lloyd was there with some little Russian gangster back then, right? So Lloyd went up to James, you see, you mash up the boy, you know, you fucking mash up the boy. James went, no!
That's what we need, man. It's just respect, man. It's total respect now. And again, sorry, because we don't want to make this about Tunde and Spencer, because this is James' moment. One thing, there was a point I was just gonna make about James. Yes, for the first time, also, you know, because we've had certain people in our team before doing various jobs, whether it be cuts or what have you, you know, random when we couldn't find no one at the last minute. But one thing, what really warmed my heart was moments before the fight, you could see James pacing up and down like he was fighting. I like James. I felt it. I felt it, James. You know, like James was rubbing up the gloves and walking. I said, yes, this is it. Because it's like, you got 3 fighters in there. You know, Lyndon weren't fighting just Anthony. He was fighting 3 fighters. Me, James, and Anthony, and Ajayi. And the energy was so much in the changing room. James was overseeing Ajayi and on the pads. Spence, Anthony threw right hand on Ajayi's chin in here. Ajayi flack. Remember, James? Ajayi flew across the and James said, whoa, Anthony, cool down. We need this man. We need this man. Saturday was fire. Come on, Saturday. James, I love you, man. I love you, brother. I'm telling you, I've got so much respect for you, man. We got so much, and thank God. Again, it's not everybody that will be spiritual. I understand that. Some people don't believe in a higher power.
Yeah, of course.
But Spencer, tell me if I'm lying if I never phone you and say, James Cook keeps coming into my soul.
1,000,000%.
I told Spencer.
No, the magic thing was this year. It was like on my timeline. It was my timeline, and it come up on my Facebook of when James came into Sky. And Tunde phoned me, and I said, "That's mad, Tunde." On my thing is like when I had James on Talk to Talk when I should do the show at Sky. I said, he's just come up, James Cook. I said, look at this. And you're calling his name now. I said, we have to work with him, you know.
This thing is real.
I have to work with him.
It's actually real. So
if I was a bad man now, I'd have said, no, forget about James Cook.
Yo, Prince, you're not gonna, you can't say that, because at the end of the day, you have to tell the people then why you can't say that.
No.
Tell him the P. Tell him why we call me the P. Go on the P. Tell him.
Because James Cook's been there for me. And that's how I'm going to be. James Cook was a man that come at my house.
Listen to this. Spencer told me, hold on. Spencer told me that he's running. I said, Spence, you running? He said, yes, Jimmy, may I run? I said, show me where you run. Right? He said, all right, we meet at Elephant Castle. We go for a run. Right? May I follow him, just drag behind him, just to see the routes where I run. When it comes to certain bridge, Spencer give this whole man some money. Good morning, Spence. Spencer give him some money. Right? Say we done that the Tuesday, now the Thursday. I said, come on, Pete. Me I go show you how we run. So we start run now. So me start to change up gear on him now. So me reach 4th gear now, flat out, just nice and mellow. Reach the bridge. The old man said, good morning, Spence. We said, no, Jimmy Cook, Spencer's back down there.
Come on. So, you made James Cook beat you up on the run, Spencer.
Yes. Ton. There's a couple of like I said about they could run. James Cook was a man, he could run, you know. He paced himself like he's from Ethiopia to Ratit. So like run. And it's just like little things when he's saying, come on, we got to dig deep now, and it's just like it's just supporting it. Or you see, like when a man phones you up and says, Spencer, I'm proud of you, know. When I remember James Cook, when I was with my wife, I was dating then, and we went to the park. Me, and my son. We went to the park, and we see James Cook in there. And like James just took my missus and said, "Come here," and just took my missus. He was like, "You know what? Take my number, and I'll start him off."
Yes, yes.
I said, "Yeah, man." And it's like I said, yeah, I mean, we just moved into our new yard, and that's all of this. This week's been a crazy week. Like, I got to watch the fight on my phone, like I was telling people before, because we ain't got no internet connected yet. So I had to go do it on off of my phone and watch the fight. And just to see like, when you know, man, I properly know James, I properly know Tunde, I'm probably close. When you see that, and just to see a different Anthony Yarde, it's just a joy. It's a mad joy, especially after everything that Anthony Yarde went through last year. Not many men could come back from that, you know. I'm just gonna be.
Listen, 100%. Listen, at the end of the day, I keep saying to people, I said, "What up to this young man? I don't know if I would let him fight." You know, and you know what I mean. And like I said, he done it. He went out there, so it shows you, you know, in boxing we got a different mindset. You know what's lovely about the game as well, as you know, Tunde and Pat, you know, been having war. And I'm saying to people, even with the interview when they dragged me aside and said Tunde and Pat is over there. So let me tell you something. If you know about boxing and you understand boxing, remember Tunde was a fighter, Pat was a fighter. They're both up there with two great guys who want to win. So they're feeling the heat of their fighters. You're just trying to get ahead of your fighter just to give him that. What I said, look at the guys, them when they finish, look how they love each other, they hug each other. Tunde said to Pat, "I love you, brother, and if you want help, I'll help you." Now listen, that not bad mind. You understand me? That is a man saying, "Brother, I will help you no matter what." You understand me? And you know what? I just think it's great and it's fantastic. And people know boxing. Commented on it. But guys them who don't understand boxing wouldn't understand that. You know, boxers, we're probably one of the nicest people in the world. You know, but we're trying to get ahead because obviously, you know, if you don't win, there'll be a problem. Listen, at the end of the day, if Anthony didn't go out and win, there'll be a problem. He might, that old lion is sleeping inside the corner still, you understand me? But, you know, but the point is, at the end of the day, this man has come out, you know, and whether people like it, this, he has performed the best performance. This performance, listen,
Electrifying.
Yeah, this performance was, you know, listen, it's not too often you see Frank Warren with a big smile like that. I think
Trust me.
Performance, you
Trust
understand
me.
me? Like I said, me and Tunde expect 70 miles an hour. He done it at 90. You understand me? That's the condition and everything just come into plan. Like what BA says, it's all come together. You understand me?
Yes.
It's come together just right. Everything just time, you know, whether the running, the training, the stopping, everything just come together in the night. He feel good, he feel great. And yes, everybody done their bit, man.
Thank you very much, James. Listen, we can go on forever. We can listen to stories. I know you're a busy man, a humble man, a wise man, someone who I can, you know, I look forward to learning more because you can never stop learning in this sport, especially. But when you've got someone close to you, now we pick up the phone. I think I speak to you more times than I speak to Spencer now.
Brother, you speak to me more time than my wife now, brother. Problem now, brother. Spence has to turn on the phone because the brother ringing me regular now, Spence. I don't know what happened. Man, it's coming 3 times. Look at this brother.
Oh, tight. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Spence, when the man said to me, some people said to me, James, you know, Tunde hung up Pat Barrett and I said, "Yeah, sure, love." I said, "Boy, I ain't sure if I hold him that long, you know." But you know.
Oh, tight, did you? But wait there, James. Spencer, the time Roger Mayweather jumped into the ring when Floyd got low blow from Zab, what would James have done if it had happened to you when he was in your corner? I'm not too sure, but thank you for the £10 donation, my man.
I'm telling you what James would have done. Back then, James coming through. So James had to play this quiet, humble. He's still young them times there. If it was now, James is, if a man was a low blow Anthony Yarde, James is swinging. I'll tell you that now for nothing. He's jumping in, swinging.
Yeah, don't mush up my peas. But yeah, it's just, I mean, the whole thing, the whole journey, you know, the journey is far from over. I believe, actually, as Spencer said yesterday, it's a rebirth. You know,
Yeah, no, you know what?
we did see Anthony that I've never seen, and I don't, as you say, we've put that down to wisdom. It's wisdom. It's saying the right things to me, to Anthony, at the right time, based on the experience. And I've said it, you can't buy that. And I'm humble enough, Anthony's humble enough to take that. Because me and Anthony, bro, we ain't brothers that you tell what to do. We
You know what? T, sorry to cut you, but you know what? Spence, people phoning me up because I'm all over the place. I mean, and I haven't got time to be checking internet and stories. So I mean, I think the most thing what's sent to me is Tunde, and I just pass them on. I mean, which is great.
Yeah.
And my brother phoned me from South London. You understand me? And he says to me, James, Tunde has given you so much respect. Through the interview, through what he done. I mean, it can't be a man who people are saying, you don't want him in the team. You understand me? He said that man, he give you such high praise. I mean, and and I could say just thanks, man, because you understand me.
My dad, and you thanking me, I thank my dad. Because my dad always taught me this. My dad taught me to listen to guys, people that are older, that are wiser. You're not smarter than them. My dad used to say this to me from a child, and I've taken that into my adulthood. And at the same time, I ain't listened to any old fool. And it's got to feel right. The vibes have got to be right, because I'm a vibes man. I'm an energies man, and your energy has always been pure. It's always been, and just sitting down and having conversations. When we're dropping you back home, and we're talking in the car. It's just amazing. It's beautiful, and I feel that if anything, the young generation, especially the people that come from our environments, listen to the elders, because they've been where you've been. They got the experience.
100%.
You can learn. You can save yourself a lot of heartache and a lot of pain by listening to the wise elders.
No, you're totally right, Tunde. And it's like what I'm saying to people. I mean, me and Spencer have this argument. Well, not argument. We speak about it every day. We see each other. The young generation, the young youth. We say to them, listen. At the end of the day, you must realize parents. It's not because they don't love you or they may not like you, but we don't know what some of our parents been through, and some of them been through tough time. And if parents said, "We'll do it. We'll grow up on this. I want to make our way." If somebody said to you, don't go down that road. There's a reason why they said don't go down that road. You understand me? And we may still do it, and when we go down there, we said, "Oh Lord God, what's gonna happen?" That's the first thing we call. You understand me? But there's a reason why they said don't go down that road. You understand me? And I say it every day. And like you, Tunde, I grew up in Jamaica where, my parents used to say, "Son, what's yours is yours. That's not yours. They're not gonna bury you with that. You didn't come in this world with this. Learn to be grateful. Learn to have what you have." That's why, as you say, nothing, don't excite me in that things. I mean, Spencer will tell you, I have a old car, it's my old car. I argue with it, it's mine. I'm not excited about things like that. I mean, I'm not excited. Now, I'll tell my kids them now to buy me Nike because I'm getting Adidas like crazy now. So now they've got to go Nike shoes to keep up with the Adidas stuff. Them,
Hey, I got 2 big boxes of Adidas gear here for you. I'm supposed to bring it for you yesterday, actually. Yeah, but you're suited. When you're suited with Adidas now. Tell the wife, don't worry about Adidas. We got that unlocked. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor and a pleasure.
Where you go? Let me just tell you one more story.
Okay, go ahead.
I went to my cousin Joanne's funeral, a mom's funeral, passing, and Joanne used to get her hair done by Miss Carmen, James's missus, yeah. And I was coming back from the funeral. I was driving through Hackney, So in the cars, me, my mum, I have my family in the car, and Alexis them times there, brand new. And I bust the corner, and then the police stopped me. So as the police stopped me now, I know I'm in Hackney, you know, I don't know where James come from, you know. He just appeared. He just said, look, that's my fighter. You can't do nothing to my fighter. Yeah. Went nuts on the police show, but in Hackney, you know, James is a legend in Hackney, you know, because everybody knows.
Yeah. Trust me.
So there's about 40 people come gather around the police, you know. They're like, they said, all right, son, we just wanted to know, we just want to say it was a nice car. They just jumped in the van and drove. James is a bad man. Commands respects, bro.
Sir. Yes, sir. Respect is earned, not given.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, sir. Anyway, in closing, it was James. Believe me, brother. I should even be calling you uncle, about brother. Me and your brother used to roll on the roads together. Me and Brian.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, me and Brian. And then what's the other brother that I used to play football with? The older one.
Evans.
Me and Evans used to play football.
Yeah, Evans.
People don't know these things.
Yeah, no,
the
absolutely.
Cook family around our bits is a legendary family, and you know, there's a lot of brothers and a lot of respect. And let me just say, none of the Cooks got their respect for being bad men. All good-hearted, clean-hearted individuals, and it's all love. It's all love. So thank you, James. Anything in closing, sir?
Well, Spence, I'm going to pick on Spence. Tunde, you're good because my head is that's them coming. Spence, you move into this big 5-bedroom house. There's something where you need a car to carry it from one room to the next room. Spence, you need to come and sit calm and get trim up in a virgin. Listen, guys, thank you very much for having me on. It's a pleasure to see both of you guys doing your stuff, man. I'm very proud of you guys, man. So well done,
James.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
But James, tell Tunde what my
Yeah, Tunde.
Yes.
Spend same wanting things, you know what I mean? But you could argue about that, you know what I mean? Yo,
Spencer's been getting free things for years, man.
Don't forget, Spencer have one of them golf buggy to drive him to the bedroom, you know, from so big now, you understand me? Yeah, from one bedroom, you need one of them buggy, you know, to drive him probably to the bedroom.
Spencer's gone clear. All right, don't let me hold you up anymore, James. Thank you so much.
Massive, man. Thanks, guys.
It was definitely an honor and a pleasure having you on the show. I know there was people on there saying, how can we like this thing twice? Because they enjoyed the show so much. And that's down to you, James.
Like it twice. Just send some cash.
Listen, behave yourself, man. Behave yourself. All right, people, 136 people on the live. Please press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we should be back on Saturday.
From
Hackney, live from Hackney.
Yes, from Hackney, yes.
Yes, sir. All right, people.
You guys Saturday, yeah.
We end the way we always do, week in, week out, by saying, dream it, believe it, become it.
Come on down. Plum pleasing pleasure to have my Uncle James and my brother Tunde and the man behind the cam, Gary Blake. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining the show. It's The Fight Is Right.
Thanks, guys. Good night.